state of Pennsylvania only has 2. But Florida has 9, Illinois has 11, the great state of Georgia and Michigan each have 13. These 2/3 of these schools are also religiously affiliated. That may or may not be important, but it's a fact you should be aware, just in case it is important to you. And they're much like in size and similar to Division 3 schools, which means smaller schools, smaller class size, which usually equates to a better education. But guess what these schools have that Division 3 schools don't? Athletic scholarships. Yeehaw! Oops, I'm sorry. I do that all the time at home. You see, I've got a 43-acre horse ranch in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I have 7 horses, for real. For real. 2 chocolate labs that worship the ground I walk on, 3 mangy chickens, and 2 cats that never leave the house. That has absolutely nothing to do with this seminar. Just thought I'd share that. Now, see, money very easy to get a lot of laughs. You got to lighten up for it. Come on. But now, that being said, I think this 4-letter word right here, NAIA, should become your new favorite 4-letter word starting right here and right now. So much so I'm going to ask everyone in the theater to say those 4 letters with me, NAIA, on the count of 3. If we get it right the first time, we'll move right along. You with me? Here we go, nice and loud now. We got a football game tomorrow night, right? Let's practice right here and now. NAIA on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good. No, I don't work for NAIA, I work for myself. But tonight, I'm kind of here working for you. Why did you come here tonight? What were you hoping to learn? Amen. What were you hoping to learn tonight through this seminar? Just one thing. Minimum requirements for SAT and ACT. Sir, how about you? What were you hoping to learn tonight for your daughter? What would help you the most? Like for eligibility. And how about you, young lady? What were you hoping to learn tonight? Just one thing. Can't say the same thing tonight. GPA requirements, okay. How about recruiting? How to get a scholarship? Anybody come thinking about that? I think you all came looking for opportunities, right? Is that right? Well, guess what? Your new favorite 4-letter word, NAIA, that's exactly what that is. Now, it could be that none of you kids here tonight ever go to an NAIA school, but then again, up to a few minutes ago, you probably didn't much of anything about it. But what if after everything I teach you tonight, I'm not done, I'm going to teach you more in the next slide. What if 1, 2, 3, what if 4 of the kids here tonight end up going to an NAIA school on a 4-year athletic scholarship? And then play for 3 or 4 years instead of going to a bigger school, riding the bench for a couple of years, getting a shot as a junior, senior, and hope you don't get injured, have a phenomenal college athletic experience, and on top of all that, get a great education? How horrible would that be? Well, they also have 23 national championships. Look at this. 60,000 student athletes compete in these schools, and this next bullet point will blow your mind. 1 out of every 7 college athletes is NAIA. And how much money do they have? Oh, glad you're sitting down. $500 million in aid. Show of hands, please. How many of you in the audience would like a piece of that pie? Good answer. Then go home and become an expert like I did for your son or daughter. Look, most of you are smarter than me. You went to college and I did. And I'm the expert teaching you everything I can in a short amount of time. But one more thing. What about Division 3? You say, what? D3. Did you know there's 442 Division 3 colleges around the country? We have 59 in Pennsylvania alone. 59. These are also smaller schools in class sizes like NAIA, better education, but they do not have athletic scholarships. But don't let that fool you. They have tons and tons of money. 3 different types. Academic money, financial aid, and grants. And a grant is simply a gift that you or your student athlete does not have to pay back. So call it whatever you want. I call it free money. Listen carefully, everyone. Listen to this. 8 out of 10 athletic opportunities in college do not come from D1 and D2 schools. 8 out of 10 athletic opportunities in college come from Division 3, your favorite new 4-letter word, NAIA, and junior colleges. How many of you kids here tonight could go to one of those schools, get a really good education, have a really nice college athletic experience, and then leave college with little or no debt? How awesome is that, right? It's the perfect fit for you kids. Learn more about it on your own. And the transition to college can be over. When we're talking about big fish in little ponds, right? Listen. When Coy was 14 years old and coming up to high school at Cedar Cliff High School, Cedar Cliff was Quad A, largest school classification in the state at the time. Now, there was a lot of anticipation about him coming up in high school football and wrestling. But there was a junior and senior tailback on the team that year, so I wasn't surprised when the head varsity football coach brought Coy up to the varsity football team as a 14-year-old freshman, but I was surprised. 2 weeks before the opening game with our rival sister school, Redland, he named Coy the starting tailback. I'm like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Well, that coach today is in the Pennsylvania Coaches Hall of Fame for both football and wrestling. He saw something in Coy. 3 games into the regular season, Coy Wire was leading the entire mid-state of Pennsylvania in rushing and scoring as a 14-year-old freshman, 120 schools, largest school classification in the state. Imagine that here in Georgia. Then a few months later, wrestling season started, and Coy, at the time, became the heaviest freshman ever to win a District 3 wrestling title, once again out of 120 schools, at 160 pounds. He was wrestling seniors. Now, fast forward a few years, it's the big day. We're at the Harrisburg International Airport. Coy's going off to college to Stanford. Now, we were all excited. It was a big day. It's what he's worked hard for all his young life. And so my wife and I, Jane and I, and my youngest son Casey, and my older daughter Tiffany, and friends and relatives, and some of Coy's best friends and teammates and classmates, they're all down there wishing him well. He gets in one of those little turboprop planes, you know, we call them puddle jumpers, the kind you never, ever want to step foot in unless you absolutely have to, right? You know the kind, right? And they got those little glass portal windows you can barely see out. So Coy gets into the plane. My wife Jane's standing to my right. To my left is Coy's best friend, Matt Kerstead. Matt and I were chewing the fat about stuff, and all of a sudden, somebody's tugging at my shirt. And tugging at my shirt. I turned to my wife Jane. I said, what? She said, Rick, I'm worried about Coy. I said, sweetheart, he's in the plane. Look, I can see him over there through the little window thing. Look. No, she said, I think he's crying. I was like, what are you talking about? My son doesn't cry. He's not crying at all. He's sobbing. Sobbing like a baby. My son, who would become a 2-time state runner-up in wrestling in Pennsylvania, who co-captained Pennsylvania's Big 33 team the year we actually beat Ohio's Big 33 team, who has a football scholarship to attend one of the best schools in the country, Stanford University, on a plane to head to Palo Alto, was sobbing like a baby. Now listen, kids, I know he was excited about this day. I know because I'm his dad. He was looking forward to this day for a long, long time. But I think all the emotions hit him at once. He knew his life was about to change. Never again would he come down for breakfast in the morning, and Dad had his breakfast on one of those TV trays so he could watch a few minutes of his favorite morning show. And my wife, Jane, every day, my wife would take one of those yellow sticky post-it things and put it on his bathroom mirror with an inspirational quote, different every day. That was going to change. And laundry? Oh, no way. He was going to learn to do laundry, cooking, and all those other things. His life is about to change forever. And when you kids get to college, your life's going to change too, unlike you have no idea. And some kids aren't ready for it. Now, they call Stanford the heart of the West. You've probably heard that before. So later that day, Coy gets out to San Francisco Airport after a couple plane rides. They said, Coy, when you get to San Francisco, look for a big white bus that will say Stanford Shuttle. So he sees this bus comes to Stanford, he gets on the bus, takes his bags. Then he said, when you get over to campus in Palo Alto, there'll be a white tent that will say recruits. That's where you want to get on. So about the third or fourth stop, he sees the Trent, there it comes, he gets off, pulls the bags over, walks over to a young lady, standing behind the table with the Coy, says, hi, my name's Coy Wire. I'm a football recruit. I'm from Pennsylvania. She goes, oh, hi, Coy. My name's Wendy. I'm your host for today. Come on over here. I got some paperwork for you to sign and some things to give you. So he's telling us on the phone how this all went, right? He said, Dad, you'll never guess the first thing that they gave me. I said, I know what they gave you, son. Your classes, your course selection. This is Stanford University. He said, no, Dad, that's not what they gave me. I said, what are you talking about? He said, guess what they gave me? I said, I had no clue. They gave me my lifting schedule. First? Yeah, my lifting schedule, Dad. Monday upper body, Tuesday lower body, Wednesday off. Thursday upper body, and Friday lower body, 9:50 to 10:15. I said, oh, so you got to sleep in on Friday? He said, no, Dad. That was PM. I'm like, son, you mean to tell me, Dad, you're lifting till 10:15 on Friday? That should be illegal. He said, I know, Dad, right? Then what, Coy? He said, then you're not going to believe it, Dad. The next thing they gave me, mandatory study hall schedule. I said, you're what? He said, exactly, Dad. They never mentioned that on the recruiting tape, did they? I don't remember, son. What did that look like? He said, Dad, my entire freshman year, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 10 o'clock, PM also. I'm like, son, that doesn't sound right. He said, I know, Dad. So let me get this straight, son. So your entire freshman year, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you have mandatory study 8 to 10 o'clock tonight, and Friday you're lifting till 10:15. What did your host Wendy say to all that? She said, welcome to college sports. Kids, When you get to college, if you're on an athletic scholarship or some type of aid, that college is making a huge investment in you, and they will expect a return on that investment. And it will start with your time. They're going to tell you what courses to take. They're going to tell you when to sleep, when to eat. You all of you here in this auditorium, you will have mandatory study halls 4 nights a week, 2 hours your entire freshman year, no matter where you go. Just be ready for it. I'm telling you, you're going to have it. They do it everywhere. So now you know. You won't be in shock when it happens. And all that starts with your time. Also, you got to be prepared mentally as well as physically. The physical part first. If you want to be a college athlete in any sport at any level, you better look like one physically for your sport and your position no later than the start of your junior year in high school. Because as you're going to find out in a minute, recruiting is getting earlier and earlier and earlier. Now the mental part, when Coy's junior year in high school, he turned out to be one of the top running back recruits in the state of Pennsylvania. Everybody was recruiting from all over the country. University of Pittsburgh, we call it Pitt back in PA. They're at the other end of the state. We live in south central Pennsylvania. They live in Pittsburgh's in the western part of the state. They were recruiting Coy hot and heavy. They were terrible at running back positions. They needed running backs really bad. So they were recruiting Coy pretty heavily since he was in state and all that, right? So I'm thinking, University of Pittsburgh, we've never been there. Maybe we should go check it out, like an unofficial visit. And our 2 best friends both graduated from there. So even though my story is about football, you can relate it to any female sport and any other male sport other than football. Any of the stories I tell you. So don't think about the word football, think about the story itself. You can use the story in any sport. So here's what I decided to do. I decided to set up an unofficial visit to the University of Pittsburgh. Here's how I did that. I called Pitt's football office to find out who the recruiting coach or coordinator was for our area of central Pennsylvania. Turned out it was a running back coach. I got his name and number. I picked the phone and called him, and this is what happened next. I said, Coach, my name is Rick Wire, and I'm calling you from Campbell, Pennsylvania. And my son has some interest in the university. We'd like to set up an unofficial visit for my son and my wife and I to come out and see your facilities and meet with academic support and so on. And he said, excuse me, did you say your last name was Wire? I said, I did. He said, you Coy Wire's dad? I said, I am. He said, oh, Mr. Wire, we'd love for you guys to come out. We're recruiting Coy pretty heavily. I said, Coach, that's why I'm calling you. But listen, if we come out on a visit, there's a list of things that you want to see and do while we're there. And I put them in my book. If we come out, you got to promise me we'll see and do everything I ask. He said, Mr. Wire, you can count on it. I give you my word. So we set the date the trip was on. So the date came, and Jamie Coy and I gave him a 1987 Suburban. Off we went down the Pennsylvania Turnpike, 76 West. 2.5 hours later, we rolled up to the football office. Running back coach came out and greeted us, and then he said, hey, Mr. Wire, let's go and do and see all the things you told me you wanted to see and do first. Get that out of the way, and then I'll take you on the tours that I want to take you. I said, perfect. So now, kids, you know the first thing Coy wanted to see when he got to campus? Weight room, baby. Weight room. Yeah. Then the athletic training facility, the locker rooms, the gym. We saw a couple of dorms. We met with academic support for football. Every sport has it at every college. And then we did something that every parent told me we should do on every college visit. So you want to write this down either on paper or up here. Don't forget it. They said, whatever you do when you start visiting colleges with Coy, make sure you sit in on at least 2 or 3 classes everywhere you go to find out the average class size. Because it will be different at every college you visit. So, at Pitt, we sat in with just 3 classes, 5 minutes each, so we could get a feel. Turned out the average class size at Pitt was about 90. That's not too bad. But my youngest son, Casey, who's 4 years younger than Coy, he ended up going to Arizona State University, called ASU. Now, ASU is a huge campus. They have over 42,000 undergrads on that campus. Some of the average class size at ASU, 600. 600. Parents, how would you like your son or daughter to be in a class with 600 other kids? Probably not the best learning environment, right? When do you want to find that out? After your son or daughter gets to college? No. So on every visit you take, make it a point to sit on some classes and find out the average class size. Then we got back to the football hub. It was a room about this big. And then I looked for a player to talk to. Of course, in our case, it was football. I saw a kid come out of the meeting room in the far corner of the building. I turned to the coach and said, as I always did, Coach, can we talk to that young man for a few minutes? He said, sure. Hey, Darnell, come here, my son. And nobody looked. Did you just look? There's nobody there. Did you look? There's nobody there. Darnell turned and started walking towards us. Again, closer and closer and closer and closer. And closer and closer and closer and closer. Darnell turned out to be a 6'4", 225-pound All-American quarterback from Little Double-A School, Kentucky. He was handsome as get up, he's smiling up the room. And after the coach did the introductions with Jamie Coyne, I turned to the coach once again and said, as I always did on every visit, "Hey coach, can we talk to Darnell for a few minutes?" He said, "Sure, let's all just go over here and sit down." I said, "No, no, coach. I meant that Jamie Coyne and I speak with Darnell in private." And the coach went, sure. What was he going to say? No? Now why would I want to do this? It's simple. I'm going to ask Darnell a lot of questions about the school, the university, the football program, academic support, or lack thereof. And I'm not going to get the same answers if his coach is standing right beside him, right? Look, I might not have been the sharpest tool in the shed, but I had my moments. We took Darnell by the arm, went in the nearest conference room, and I closed the door. I said, "Darnell, what was it like from a little Dubway school in Kentucky to here, the University of Pittsburgh?" He said, "Mr. White, to say it was challenging would be an understatement. Back in Kentucky," he said, "I was an All-American, right? But up here, I was so much more than that." But when I got here to the University of Pittsburgh, mind you, everybody in the football team was an All-American. Some kids were 2-sport All-Americans, and one freak, 3-sport All-American. Everybody hated him. It wasn't even the kicker. Now see, right there, I usually get a laugh for a laugh. But is that all I get? Listen, tough. Yeah. He said, "Mr. White," he said, "I'm a redshirt junior this year. I'm going into my 3rd year of athletic eligibility. You only get 4. And I'm still 3rd string in the depth chart at quarterback here at Pitt. When the 2 years that I've already used up out of the 4 that I get, I have not stepped on the field for one play, one day." Well, just 2 weeks ago, he said, "I even went to the coaching staff. They asked me if I could play another position." He said, "Look at me, Mr. White. I'm 6'4". I can run like a deer. I can catch the football. I can play some wide receiver. You know, like that Julio guy down in Atlanta, rise up. Or I can put on 10, 15, maybe 20 pounds, bulk up a little bit, do a little blocking and a little catching. I can play some tight end. You know, like that Gronk guy up in New England. You see, Mr. White, I said, "I've got to get on the field. I've got to play this game that I love so much." He was tugging at my heart. I remember it like yesterday. And then he said, "Mr. White, if it wasn't for the love and support I got from home, and my recruiting coach at Pitt was like a second father to me, I'd have walked away from everything." Now would be a good time to share with you, though, a statistic that the NCAA has shared with me. But understand this, I'm just a messenger. The NCAA says that 26% of all incoming scholarship freshman athletes coming into college, 26%, end up leaving college before the end of their first year. 1 out of 4 scholarship freshman athletes in all sports. The best in their school, the best in their conference, the best in their region, one of the top 30 or so in the state at their position, and they walk away. Wow. You know, when I'm done doing these seminars, and I'm out in the lobby selling my books and then answering questions for athletes and parents. Last night I was at Northside High School down in Muskogee County, almost at the Alabama border. And when I was all done selling my books, I saw a young lady standing off the side. I knew it was coming. I start packing up and ready to go. She walks over and said, "Excuse me, Mr. White." I said, "Yes." She said, "Hi, my name's Jack. First of all, I want to thank you so much for coming here. I learned so much tonight." I said, "Well, thank you, Jack. But wait a minute. Where's your parents at, young lady?" And she said, "They're not here. They couldn't make it. But I won't miss this for the world. You see," she said, "Mr. White, I'm going to play college softball one day." I said, "Well, that's awesome, Jack. You look kind of young. What grade are you in?" She said, "I'm just a freshman." I said, "Oh, then you heard this is the right time, didn't you?" She said, "Oh, I surely did." But you see, Mr. White, the reason I stayed after my parents, they're not into sports at all. They're into the arts and things. And that's okay. I love them to death. But all that means to me is I'm probably going to have to do all this recruiting stuff on my own. And that's why I stayed. You see, Mr. White, I'm willing to do anything to be a college softball player. I'll do whatever it takes. Trust me. And I was hoping you could just tell me, what do I need to do to play college softball? I said, "Jackie, this is not rocket science. You only need 3 things." She said, "Just 3?" I said, "Just 3. She said, "Would you tell me what they are?" I said, "Sure I will, but I'll bet you guess what the first one is on your own." She said, "Grades and test scores?" There you go, Jackie, grades and test scores. That's right. "And what's number 2?" she asked. I said, "Well, that's pretty simple too, darling. You've got to have talent." "And what's the third one?" she asked. "Well, the third one's the most important of all." She said, "Mr. White, wait a minute. I thought you said academics was important. I know I heard you say that. Calm down, Jackie. Yes, I did say that. I'm glad you were listening, but I'm going to make one exception this time and this time only." She goes, "Oh my. I'm afraid to ask, Mr. White, what is it?" I said, "Jackie, it's simply this. If you want to be a college athlete in any sport and at any level, you better be willing to outwork everyone every single day." I even had a wristband made of it. Outwork everyone every single day. How do you think a kid 6 foot 209 pounds from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, Played 9 years of linebacker in the NFL. I'll tell you how he did it. He outworked everyone every single day. Now, how did he get into Stanford University with these genes in his body? How did he overcome that deficit? That's not that funny. I'll tell you how he did it. He outworked everyone in the classroom every single day. These two kids, Coy Wire, didn't want to just have one or two choices of where to go to school, get his education, play football. He wanted to have lots of choices. And not just from any schools, the best schools. He's figured, hey, if I'm going to go to college, why not go to a really good one? But he also knew this. On any given Friday night, we're running the football for the Cedar Cliff Colts in West Shore Stadium, or running the football for the Stanford Cardinals in Pac-10 on Saturday afternoons, or tackling running backs in the NFL on Sunday afternoons, playing in the NFL, his career could end like that. Career-ending injuries happen every day to boys and girls and men and women, all in this country, in all sports, and at all levels. But he also knew this. He had one of these in his hands, a lambskin diploma from a good school, and it doesn't have to be Stanford. You've got lots of good schools here in Georgia. He had one of these in his hands. He could have a really, really good life. He could get a really good job. He could buy a home, drive a nice car, find his soulmate, get married, have kids, and raise them, and give them the same opportunities that we gave our son. But he knew it was going to take one of these. Because kids, in today's world, you better have one of these to get ahead. Unless you want to flip burgers and McDonald's and Burger King for a living. The days of doing what I did, not going to college and doing something like this, I'm just blessed to be able to share my experiences and turn it into a business. But I am the exception, not the rule. If you can use your academics and your athletic talent to get some part or all of your college education paid for, then you better count your blessings. And all this came from a 6'4", 225-pound All-American quarterback on a liberal double-A school in Kentucky. That, my friends, was a true story. To add to that story, that young man did switch positions because the Atlanta Falcons were playing the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome on Monday Night Football. Shane and I were there. We had his jersey on. We were getting around pretty good by those rowdy fans. It was a close game, and we were coming back. But Drew Brees had 3rd and long. So he goes back for a pass and throws. It's 3rd and 15, throws a long 20-yard pass to a tight end down sideline. First down, New Orleans. I'm like, oh my God, the crowd goes nuts. See, I told you. And all of a sudden, the announcer goes, and it's a first down, Drew Brees to Darnell Dinkins. I said, Mom, what did he just say? Darnell Dinkins, give me the program. I opened up number 8. There he was, Darnell Dinkins. Turned out he did switch positions. He got drafted. He played 9 years in the NFL. And that year was the year the Saints won the Super Bowl. Today, he has a Super Bowl ring. He's one of my speakers. He lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Understand recruiting standards. How do college coaches decide which kids to offer visits and recruit and eventually money? How do they decide? It's simple. They have recruiting standards for every sport and by position. Now, in some sports like track and swimming, it's pretty simple. Time, speed, distance. In some sports like golf, it's all about scores. In other sports, size matters. Football, volleyball, basketball. In other sports, not so much. When Coy was ripping up the gridiron as a 14-year-old freshman, he would run for 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns on any given Friday night. One week, we were playing Carlisle High School, which is where we live now. He has 5 touchdowns already. He runs the ball down to the 5-yard line, 3 guys bring him down. If he touches the ball one more time, he sets at the time what was going to be a state record of 6 touchdowns in a game. The coach pulled him out of the game. I was okay with that. It was the right thing to do. He would run for 200, 250, sometimes close to 300 yards in a game. After these games, Shane and I would be there. The media would come and see us out. Parents, coaches, even parents from the opposing teams, because they heard how good of a young man he was, character-wise, they'd come over and congratulate us on his success, and then they'd say this. So, Mr. Wire, how's it feel to have a Division I athlete in your family? I don't know. How's it feel to have a Division I running back? I don't know. What's it even look like? Is Coy D1? Is he D3? I have no clue. I didn't even go to college. What does that even look like? Now I'm thinking, I better find out. So guess what I did? I picked the phone, I called 6 Division I college football coaches, and I talked to the running back coaches at each school. You see, you, parents and kids, can call college coaches anytime you want. They just can't call you anytime. How about that? I talked to the running back coaches at each of these 6 schools, and I told them about Coy's early success, and everybody was saying he was D1 and all that. I said, look, I don't know, I didn't even go to college, but I want to know what kind of schools should we start looking at when the time comes. Could you tell me what you look for when you're recruiting running back out of high school? And again, remember, you relate these stories to any sport. This is just what I did. What do you look for for when you recruit a running back out of high school for Division I level? Give me some intangibles like deferred height and weight. Speed's got important for running back, right? So how about 40 times? And for strength, let's go with the 2 core list, bench and squat. These 6 coaches gave me 5 are very close to the same answer, which they should if they're all recruiting the same caliber of Division I athletes, right? And Coy was already meeting 4 of the 5. I'm like, oh my gosh, he is D1. Now I knew. If I'd have found out he was D2 or D3, I was okay with that. I just wanted to know what kind of colleges should we start looking at and what kind of colleges should we not be looking at. Then when I started doing these talks all over the country, I'm like, no, wait a minute. When softball parents and field hockey parents, female lacrosse parents, female track athletes, female tennis players, female volleyball players, wouldn't they want to know about their daughters? What I wanted to know about playing football? The answer is, of course they did. So guess what I did? I picked the phone, called more college coaches. For you, not for me. I already went through this. And guess where I put all those standards? In my book. And I'm talking about every sport, from wrestling to cross country, to volleyball, to tennis, track and field, softball, swimming, cruise, soccer, ice hockey, lacrosse, huge growing sport by the way, golf, gymnastics, field hockey, men's, women's basketball, baseball, and of course football. Now football I call it University of Florida and Florida State coaches. And I asked them if they would help put a chart together for me by positions, like running backs, safeties, quarterbacks, linebackers, and linemen. Do you have any football players here tonight? Football players? Just a few. Do I have any linemen here? One lineman? All right, stand up where you're at, man. What grade are you in? Nice and loud. Okay, stand up for me. What's your name? Where's everybody going? Girls, we didn't even get to recruiting. You're not even know how to take visits. I guess you'll figure it out. All right. Anyway, young man, so you're a sophomore, did you say? Okay. Now stay standing for me. Listen to this, everybody. Listen to what Florida and Florida State said they look for when you recruit a lineman out of high school. Listen to this. Preferred height, 6'4". Preferred weight, 280 pounds. Then run a 5'140" or better. Bench 320, squat 450, OMG. That means, oh my gosh, you know that, right? Are you kidding me? 6'4", 280, run a 5'140", bench 320, squat 450. There's a name for this kid. What is it? A freak. Somebody said a freak. That's what this kid is. He's a freak. He ain't giant. He's a freak, man. Come on. Are they walking the halls of every high school in the country? Do they exist? Oh, yeah. It's who they recruit. Well, what if a young man goes to, let's say, the Keachman High School, he's the lineman. He wants to play in college, but he's not 6'4". He's almost 6'1". He also doesn't weigh 280 pounds, he's 242. He doesn't run a 5'140" either, 5'5" with the wind at his back. He doesn't bench 320 either, high 270s. He doesn't squat 450 either, high 380s. Young man, would that mean this kid can't be a lineman in college? No, but what does it mean? Where's he not going to play? Florida, Florida State. You know where else he's not going to play?